You're listening to the Grit to Growth podcast. Real talk with real business owners and professionals who built their freedom the hard way and now want more time, money, and impact.
Hello and welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm Levi with Mailbox Money here in Sioux Falls, and joining me today is Sheila Anderson. She's the founder of Image Power Play and works with executives, speakers, and professionals who want their presence to match their ability without trying to be someone they're not. Sheila, thanks for joining us today.
Levi, thank you so much. It's just an honor to be here. So thank you for asking me. I'm excited to share a little bit about my journey and what I do. So thank you.
Amazing. Sheila, I'd like to start with kind of your personal background, letting people know who you are and where you come from.
So I, South Dakota girl through and through, born and raised here. I've never lived in any other state. So I grew up on the Missouri River. My father worked for the Corps of Engineers.
Okay.
So I do have still a love and a passion for water, being around, right, a lake, the ocean, anything like that. So, which I love about South Dakota is, right, we have this nice river.
Yes, we
Um,
do.
yeah, so again, lived here, studied art in college, and that kind of led me into, right, being very creative from an early age, which led me into image consulting and personal branding. I have a background in professional modeling. I did that for about 10 years as well. And
Amazing.
then 30 years has been doing corporate branding work as well. So everything about me is centered around the visual aesthetics or that visual identity of you as a person or your company or an enterprise organization. So all about branding.
Amazing. Can you kind of walk us through the story of how you ended up choosing that as your path and why you ended up focusing on it?
Yeah, so it's a great question. When I was growing up, this is kind of a funny story. I used to, when we had magazines back in the day, I would cut out
I still
pictures
know what a
of
magazine is.
I would cut out pictures of maybe different hairstyles or clothing or makeup or whatever that I was attracted to. And so then I would tape it up on my bedroom wall. And so I had created almost like a wallpaper and a whole bedroom wall of different images that I liked. And so that really kind of formed an impression on me because from a early age, how people presented themselves apparently mattered to me because I would cut things out of magazines and then I would tape them up and look at that.
I love it.
So, fast forward to the early 90s. That was kind of a time when, I don't know if you've heard about color draping, color analysis was kind of a thing in the 80s, 90s. It's made a resurgence again. But that intrigued me. And so one of my friends' mom did like this color analysis on me. I was in a pageant in my teens, and we had to have the color analysis done. And I loved that. Right, it just was again about first impressions and how you present yourself. So that I kind of kept that in the back of my mind. And then in the early 90s, I also came in contact with some other women that were doing personal styling. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so I was quite a bit heavier than I am at the moment. And I found myself super frustrated with
Yeah.
clothing and trying to find clothing and felt really defeated when I was in clothing stores because it was hard at that time for a plus size woman to find very stylish clothes. And that mattered to me. So I remember standing in the Empire Mall here in Sioux Falls in a store and tears were streaming down my face. And I was so frustrated with not being able to find nice clothing for my
Yeah.
body, right? Being super creative, I thought of myself as an art project. And so from that moment on, I don't know, it was just like an instant switch that I'm like, I am going to learn how to dress my body, right? The best way I can. And I'll probably break every rule in the book. And I'm sure I did. And I didn't care, right? Because I was going,
Amazing.
right? I'm creative, so I don't care if I break that rule. But right, I eventually did get formal training and learn all the rules, and I still am maybe a little bit of a renegade in the image consulting world where here's your rules, here are the rules, but we need to break them to make them more you. So because you can get stifled by those rules. So I started right, became my own art project. What I said, I paid really attention to how I felt when I put something on. Not so much. I mean, the visual aesthetic was important, but
Is part of
really
it.
it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was really how I felt in that clothing. Did I feel confident? Did I feel beautiful? Did I feel, ho hum? That type of thing. And so I really started paying attention to that. And then people started noticing, my friends started noticing that I had a little bit more confidence and that I was kind of putting things together nicely. And so then they
Hmm.
started asking me, can you come help me? And I was like, there might be a business in this. Maybe I could do this. I could probably charge money for it, right? I'm married to a CPA and he's always thinking, what's your
What?
ROI?
Yeah. That's
In
probably his first
fact,
question, huh?
yeah, always, right? And so I did actually trademark return on image ROI.
Oh,
So that's my ROI. So
I
that's
love
a
it.
registered trademark that I own, which I'm pretty proud of that. So again, people started asking me how to help them, and I loved it. So it was a creative outlet for me and something fun. But the other side of that was the confidence, right? So I tell people that I help executives and leaders look and feel confident wherever they are. So a lot of it is some self-internal work first to figure out, how you want to come across, and we can kind of get into that, like how I start with people.
Yeah.
So I have the image consulting piece of it, right? The style component, which then I tie into that personal branding aspect as well.
So, yeah, kind of let's get into that with say you have a new client that approaches you. What does that end up looking like? Are you guys kind of having meetings like to get personality or yeah, walk us through that process.
Yeah, so where we start with people, I start with what are their goals. So what is your goal for why did you come to me? What's frustrating you? What do you feel like I can help you with? What do you feel like you're lacking? There's something that you're missing that you're coming to me for. And then we look at, what are your goals? Are you trying to get into a senior leadership position? Are you trying to start your own business and you need to come across more professionally? Or maybe you just want to feel better about yourself. So I look at those goals, and then the place that we start, and we do this in corporate branding as well, is what is that brand personality? What is your brand personality? And those, what are those adjectives? What are those words that you want people to think about when they think of you or when they think of your company? So we do some self-assessment on that. We, get input and feedback from other people in their lives about, how they're coming across. And then we kind of narrow it down. We try to the best we can if we can get to one word. That can be
What
hard.
but
One word. Yeah.
what kind of so from when they say I want to work with you to getting that one word down, what timeline is that usually?
Yeah, that's probably about a month. That's a couple sessions. Because it takes some time to think about it. Because like
Yeah,
that first
absolutely.
session, you can't. And often we kind of maybe know the word, and then as we evolve or work through things,
A little ebb and flow.
it's a little ebb and flow. You're right. It is a little ebb and flow, or it might be, okay, well, this word works a little bit better from where the direction we want to go.
Yeah.
But so once you have that word, whatever that word is, then everything ties back to that word, or everything has to point back to that word. And I say everything communicates. Everything you do, everything you say, everything you wear has consequences. It's
Hmm.
either adding to your personal brand or it's taking away from your personal brand. So once you have your word, then what does that look like and how is that showing up in how you put yourself together with your clothing style, with your image? How is that showing up, that word showing up in your business life, in your email communications, in your voicemail, how you speak, how you're interacting in a meeting, those types of things. So, how does that word showing up in your business setting? And again, we talked about communications. How's that showing up in your communications? How's that showing up in your relationships? Um, we think about online
Yeah.
as
It's a
well
huge
because
presence for
we all,
everyone now.
I know we all Google everybody before we meet them,
Yep.
and which is great, right? We learn so much, but it can be a little scary because if you are not controlling that narrative that's online, then somebody else is, and it's probably making people are making wrong assumptions about
Mm-hmm.
you if you're not controlling that. So LinkedIn is probably the best place to have a presence if you're in the business world. It depends on, who you are, what you're doing. So there's sometimes I'll say, Instagram or some of my clients, like, I don't want any social media out there at all. That's fine. People are still going to Google you and they're still going to find some things. So, and then how is it showing up like in your headshots, your imagery, your those types of things? So, it takes some time to kind of figure that out because you have to have your word pretty narrowed down,
Yep.
and then it everything expands off of that. It, spokes out from that word. So I think it's an interesting um it's an interesting thing to do for yourself, to think about that and to get feedback from other people on what do you think my strengths are. What do you think I should stop doing? What do you think I do well? Those types of things. And you have to be open to some of that feedback, which is always good for all of us. And
Are
one
you
thing
finding a lot of people, it's kind of their first time getting that kind of feedback and stuff?
yeah, in some aspects, yeah, somewhat. They generally know after we've
Mm-hmm.
kind of gone through it, like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
After we do the process. Um, But I think it helps figuring out, knowing how you're coming across, because we think we know how we come across, but
It could be completely different than
could be completely
reality, right?
different. And yeah, yeah, it is. So it's right. It's just owning that narrative. I think I tell people, think about your personal brand as a business asset. And so if you start thinking about it that way, it helps inform how, are you trustworthy? Are you credible? It says something about your decision-making skills, how you're showing up, your competence, are you approachable, those types of things. So, yeah.
For you and your business, that are you finding a lot of people coming to you that already, they have this presence, they're already doing these things, or are you finding a lot of people that aren't really doing an online presence or public speaking and haven't really put any thought in it? Kind of compare and contrast those for us.
Yeah, oh gosh, if I had to break down my clients or people that reach out to me, most of them are probably middle management or up, or it's the entrepreneur, solopreneur. It's the keynote speaker
Yep.
that wants to, right, has that personal brand is really tied to who they are personally. So there's kind of a mix of that. I would say I probably have more people currently that are in that middle management to senior level executive that, the corporate brand is made up of everybody's personal brands. And they know that. And so if they want to move up in that industry, right, or in that business, then sometimes it's just there's some little shifts that you need to do. For those type of people though, there's some confidence work there. It's looking like are at a higher level,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there also is opportunities for industry thought leadership for you. And so I don't think people think about that as much. They're like, okay, I'm just going to get You start wearing maybe a sport coat. You don't have to wear a tie or whatever it is, or whatever that signature look is that we come up for you. But then it's also getting that thought leadership out there. So, are you getting on podcasts like this?
Yeah.
Are you invited to stages, right, where you can be part of a panel? Or can you go into some place and be their keynote speaker or those types of things? Or are you writing articles? Are you on Substack? But I don't care, wherever you want to get your thought leadership out there is really, really important for those people. And I think that's a huge missing gap. I don't think
So
people think about that.
yeah, I 100% agree with you. And to be quite honest, I didn't really fully realize that you guys were going into all those kind of depths and really forming
Yeah.
a whole image for someone that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Because it's all,
amazing.
and it's as far as they want to go.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they just come to me like, I just want to create a signature look for myself. Perfect. Lovely. I can do that. That's easy. I
Mhm.
need some help, right? I need to move up and I need to, what else do I need? Or maybe they're job hunting, so I have some people I can recommend that can help them with their LinkedIn profile that I have some oversight over that as well to make sure it's showing up and is tied back to their goals and their personal brand. So yeah, there's a lot of different stages or services that you can provide. So I just say there's not a one size fits all. Like I don't put you in a box, and maybe that's something a little bit unique about me is like, hey, let's just get on a call and a discovery call
Let's
and
talk.
let's talk. Like, what do you need help with? And if I can't help you, or if I'm going, you know what, I think I would recommend you to this person instead or something. So I am never opposed to that as well.
For our listeners, a practical takeaway for them maybe what's say someone who feels capable but they're coming off kind of invisible. What's one small change they could make to make a shift in how they're seen?
Oh, well, again, it goes back to that word. Like, how do you want to come across? What is it that you want people to think about? And often there's a visual component to that. So just we hear this often, like a woman who changes her hair is about to like change her life. And so even something as simple as changing your haircut or hairstyle signals to other people that, oh, there's something starting, there's something changing, and it can be the start of that. So most people, if we get the clothing, the style, that's an easy thing to work on. That's an easy start. You don't have to go shopping, right? We can look in your closet and just, do a little edit or, fill in a few pieces. Most often people think I'm going to come in, I'm going to like take all their clothes out of their closet. They're not going to have anything to wear and we have to get like all new. So I've never done that. So we use what you have, fill in pieces where we need to, depending on budget, you know, we
You
can,
brought me back to a memory. I remember growing up, my mom watching probably something on TLC of shows where yeah they just
yeah,
dump people's whole closets
yeah.
out of there. And yeah,
There
I
are there right there's I'm not gonna lie, right? There's times where I have gone into some closets and gone, oh my gracious, okay. Whew. So we're going
we
to,
got some
but
work.
yeah, but it's overwhelming for them. So it's just a baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. Um, on occasion, you'll have a couple of people that like, I don't care, you can dump the whole thing, right? Go back, so, and that's fine. So, and an easy thing to do with this is at the beginning of kind of like spring cleaning's coming right around the corner here.
I hope soon. Although as we're talking, I see it's starting to snow outside. So
World. I know. I'm done. I'm done with that. But if you turn all your hangers backwards, if you put all right, turn the hangers right. You've heard that before. You turn all
yeah,
your hangers
even
in your
I've
closet
heard that one, which is
backwards.
surprising, but not saying that
Levi.
everyone has. So I'll let you share it.
Yeah, then you just see if what you haven't worn for 3 months or for that season. So.
That's a
There's
great, that's a great
it's just
practical tip
it's a
right
quick
there.
thing. Or if you're not unsure about it, then put it in a section of unsure and see how often you reach for them the next 3 months. And if you don't reach for them, pack them away or donate them or whatever, that because that visual clutter, um, then we can't make decisions. It's
Yeah.
overwhelming. So there's something about that as well.
Sheila, for those who would like to learn more about you or what Imagine Power Play is doing, maybe reach out for your services, where would you send them to?
So my website is imagepowerplay.com. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and it's Sheila Moore Anderson. Actually, I've used that name on LinkedIn as well as Facebook, and I'm active on Instagram. I have a book, so shameless plug. You can get my book
Very
on
cool.
Amazon. I don't know if it's shipping out very well, but
I see
um,
you, right? Is that what
yep,
I saw?
yep. Yeah, so this is available on Amazon. So it really kind of walks you through a lot of it's a quick read. It's a little bit of a notebook or a workbook as well. So it'll take you through some of this process that we talked about. And right, if you're a self-starter, then there you go.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Sheila, again, thank you for your time today. It was awesome to
Yeah.
hear kind of your personal story, how you came about starting your business, and thank you for being open and honest with us and the listeners.
Thank you so much, Levi. I enjoyed it.
Of course. Well, thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Know someone with serious grit and a great growth story? Send them our way at grittogrowthpodcast.com/guest.